When a mysterious new foe from a far-off land sets his sight on the web-slinger, how far will Peter Parker go to protect everything he holds dear? Well, let's hop into the pages of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 7 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Spider-Man and Black Cat's big important stakeout had been interrupted by the coming of HELLGATE, a strange, otherworldly individual clad in armor, and carrying an arsenal of fantasy weapons. Spider-Man, as he often does, makes a joke out of the whole situation. Hey man, I know it's really clear you want to talk to me right now, but we're kind of doing a whole neo-noir thing. Will you take a number and then I promise I'll come back and play D&D with you later? Peter also calls him an Oblivion extra, which I find hilarious because this is the second time in as many issues Joe Kelly has made a video game reference. I wonder if he plays, despite being an older man from a completely different generation. Now, what's interesting about this meeting is that HELLGATE doesn't actually want to fight Spider-Man. Well, initially at least. You saw the cover, didn't you? He claims to be from a faraway realm directed here by an all-powerful seer to have a meeting with the Prince of Silksteel, aka Spider-Man. Not because they're supposed to be enemies like you might be led to believe. No, apparently in this vision, HELLGATE and Spider-Man join forces. Again though, despite this very flowery introduction, Spider-Man's not having any of it. Him and Black Cat are already working on something right now and want to get into that warehouse before the goons clear out. HELLGATE very clearly doesn't like being ignored, and because of that, he ends up flying into action, turning into a raging fireball, and then airdropping himself on the warehouse, killing everyone inside. Well, goddamn, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand, didn't it? One minute they're trading jokes and jabs back and forth, and then the next minute, we got a bunch of dead bodies on our hands. This also means Spider-Man now has to take things 100% seriously. This guy might have wanted to just talk before, but now a fight is inevitable once Peter realizes how dangerous this HELLGATE dude really is. Oh, but we don't get to that fight right away because this issue is actually filled with all sorts of little diversions that I'm sure will only end up becoming important later. You see, from there we actually transition on over to a strange little man getting off a bus at the Port Authority terminal. Been there, done that. This guy's name is Hermes Crenshaw, and much like HELLGATE, he doesn't seem to actually be from this dimension. He spent the entire bus ride making calls to every superhero whose number he could get, including some that no regular person should even know about, like Captain Universe. There's no telling where this guy is from, but it's made abundantly clear that he is here on a very important mission of mercy. Back at the fight though, Spider-Man ends up receiving no such mercy. He gets knocked around like a rag doll and learns in quick order not only is this HELLGATE guy incredibly strong and fast, but his body also radiates an incredibly powerful red-hot radiation heat, which probably explains the hell in his name. Now, the entire city of New York will be waking up soon to start their day, and so Spider-Man does everything in his power to lead HELLGATE away from the more populated areas. It's from there we actually check on in with early riser Jonah Jameson. Geez, it feels like forever since we've actually seen JJ, am I right? What's he doing this early morning? Oh, just reading every one of the country's precious few dwindling newspapers and giving his own commentary. Apparently no one knows how to use an Oxford comma anymore, and there's just typos everywhere. What does this have to do with the story? Absolutely nothing, and yet at the same time I would happily read an entire issue that was just JJ Statler and Waldorfing all to himself. Now, during the chase across the city, Spider-Man does actually manage to showcase some rather interesting new techniques, mainly burning a whole bunch of his web fluid at once to create one giant web blob to slow down and blind HELLGATE, though Peter admits he can't make a habit of using this move, mainly because that's months worth of salary, all tied up in that webbing fluid. Now, we're still not done introducing new characters either, as we actually see a young person riding a Vespa in an alley. Again, this mystery person doesn't seem to be around here, and their back also features what I can only consider to be some sort of Captain America-style shield, only this one is broken, and radiating otherworldly energy. Yeah, your guess is honestly as good as mine. Now, what exactly is Spider-Man's plan here instead of just leading HELLGATE away from the city? Well, the plan is to take him on over to the park, where not only will they not be disturbed, but Spider-Man hopes to make use of the city's fiber optic cooling units to try and freeze up this new fantasy foe, and for a minute there it actually seems like this crazy plan worked. Man, you know, in here I thought Spider-Man was going to lean on his time learning magic in the last 8 Deaths of Spider-Man story to use against this new magical foe, but no. In any other fight this probably would have won the day, but HELLGATE is clearly no regular opponent. The heat inside him burns like a million suns, runs. And those cooling tanks really only seem to make him angry as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 7, everybody. And once again, this series manages to do an aggressively average job. Not bad, but not particularly good either. HELLGATE had a lot of pomp and circumstance leading up to his debut, and he doesn't really do anything in this issue to win me over. I guess it's interesting that he tried to actually reach out to Spider-Man as a friend and only decided to fight him after he was rebuked. It also probably doesn't help either that Spider-Man in his classic Spider-Man fashion doesn't actually take HELLGATE seriously at all. I don't know if that would have changed my opinion, but there really is a moment in the book where I'm like, you know what, Peter, if you're not going to take this seriously, neither will I. This issue is also basically one giant big action scene broken up by a series of small little diversions, which are certainly well appreciated. Just when I really started getting bored of the fight, we did get to hang out with JJ for a few seconds there, and that's always nice. Beyond that, I don't really know what more else to say about this issue. It did what it set out to do. It promised a fight between Spider-Man and HELLGATE, and it sure delivered. Overall, I'd give this issue a 6 out of 10, and I sure hope the next installment in this story arc offers some more interesting twists and turns for me to chew on. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.